One weekend, 3 events, back-to-back setups, back-to-back parties, long travel times in between each event, full throttle celebrations on deck. How do you manage it without burning out? What can you do to make sure that you're okay and can deliver an incredible performance? This video is going to give you some stuff to think through and things that I do for myself and for my team to make sure that we are all solid so that we're not struggling when we're on site at someone's events. Being busy is a blessing, and having an abundance of opportunity and events is something we all work super hard to create. But when you have back-to-back events, it's easy to get caught up in the flow and to not take care of yourself. I think that's why so many DJs are overweight. That's why so many DJs look like their age as opposed to aging like younger, so to speak. So what can you do to take care of yourself? Over the years, I've done a lot. I mean, there was one year that I worked 235 events in a single year. I was constantly on a plane, moving from here, moving to there, and I felt like I was constantly in the ringer. On top of all the things needed for my personal events, I had to take care of my business. I had to take care of my family. I had to take care of my social media, my edits, my content creation, and everything else that went on in my life. So how do you stay on top of all this? I think having a plan to tackle these weekends is something that is super important, and giving yourself time to recover is what is going to get you through, and not just that weekend, but get you through to the next set of events that are on your calendar in a healthy way. So I want to share with you some things that I do to prepare for these long event-packed weekends. First and foremost, if you have to travel to an event and let's just say it's an hour and a half away from your house and the next day is in that same area, one thing I've learned to do is it's worth the investment to stay overnight close to that location, prioritizing sleep and recovery time and setting some time up for yourself to make sure that you're taken care of. When I work, greater than an hour away from my house, and if I have to be back in that same area the next day, or if I have to travel another long day the next day for the next event, one thing that I've learned over time is to just do what you have to do to find a hotel that makes sense, or a motel, or just a place to stay, Airbnb, anything for that matter, to take care of yourself and your team so that you can recover properly. I think one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older is sleep is super important. And when I lack sleep and when I lack rest, I make mistakes. Not like mistakes that most people can pick up on, but I know that my flow is not the way it should be, or I notice that I might be tripping up on words. I notice that maybe I overlook something, and not that it impacts my events in a negative way, but it takes me off my A game, and I feel like that's what people are looking for, is my A game. So prioritizing sleep and staying close to that venue, or driving from the first night towards your second night and staying somewhere over there, which will allow you time to rest and recover when you can settle down that night. So I always look for a place that is affordable and nice enough that I can rest, relax, and stay. One thing I also like to do is I like to try to keep my routine the same as my everyday hustle. Even if I need to sleep a little bit longer, sleep in a little bit, I try to keep the rest of my day on point and on the schedule that I'm used to. So every morning I like to walk. I like to walk for an hour and a half. I think walking is a great way to not only clear your head, but to set your day up for success. I think it's great for managing stress. It's great to work through things that maybe you need to think through. And it's a great way to stay on top of just social media. I like to walk. I like to look at my Instagram. I like to walk. I like to observe nature. I like to walk. I like to listen to music and listen to things that maybe I think are interesting, whether it be a podcast or a YouTube video. I like to occupy my mind with different things, but walking is something that's important. So I like to, number 2 is keep my schedule the same. So if I stay off site or on site or near outside of my home, I wake up and the first thing I do is I go for a nice long walk. And whether it's in a parking lot or around a corner, or I'm going into a new area, I pull up my Google Maps, I take a nice walk. Keeps me on my daily hustle, keeps me on my daily schedule, and it sets my mind up for the day in front of us. So first off, prioritize sleep, prioritize rest, and stay near the places that you're working or close to the next place that you're working. 2 is keep your daily kind of schedule the same. Again, I like to prioritize walking in the morning every day. So when I wake up, whatever time that will be, I go out and I go for a nice long walk. Now, today I started my day at 5:30. I was out walking. I walked for an hour and a half this morning, got over 10,000 steps before it was 8 o'clock. And I feel like that's a great way to start a day. Obviously, that's not going to be the plan when I go to bed at 3 a.m. or something like that. Maybe I sleep till 8 or 9 and then I'll go for my walk. But I try to make sure I have plenty of time to do whatever it is I have to do. Number 3, another thing that I think is super important is your prep work. I like to prep for my events the week of an event. I actually prep before that, but I like to finalize my prep the week of an event. The morning of an event, especially if I'm doing back-to-back events, is I like to go through the paperwork, I like to read my notes, and I like to reconfirm everything in my Serato crates that I built for that event. I like to do my formalities folder. I like to look at my cue points. I like to look at my must plays, my do not plays, the things that are going to take that celebration to the next level. I like to review everything. So notes, playlists, music, crates, cue points, all of it. Who they want to hear, what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear. I try to set my day and my party up for success the morning of. It allows me some time to think through things over the course of that day or leading up to that event, so that if I hear something in the car on that way to that event, or if I think of something, I have the ability of, like putting a note on my phone or adding a song to a crate or a folder in my Serato, so that I don't lose sight of that song, that idea, that wordplay, that remix, that thing that I want to incorporate into the day. Next up, I think it's so important to be properly fed and to hydrate properly. So I love using LMNT element packs in my water to stay hydrated, to keep my body working in the best and most, optimal state. I also like other electrolyte formulas, like Ultra is a good one, Ultima is a good one. There's a bunch that are out there, and I think you have to find things and products not only that you enjoy and you like, but that tastes good. So find your path. I like to not only make sure that I'm having plenty of water, I don't drink alcohol at my parties. I make sure that I'm properly fed, whatever my diet is saying. I do a lot of fasting. So some weekends that I'm super busy, I like to fast that weekend. It keeps your mind really sharp, and some people might not understand that. I've done tons of videos on fasting here in the past. It's how I was able to trim down really tight with my weight. It's how I've got my weight and my fitness back under control this time around. And over the past couple of months, I've lost like 40 pounds because I fast and I have a schedule that I follow. So the point of this tip is to give your body what it needs to work in its best state. So make sure you have breakfast, make sure you have plenty of water, make sure you're taking your vitamins, your electrolytes, things that you need to be the best version of you, whatever that is, and however you operate. It's really important. If you eat like a slob, you're going to perform like a slob. So try to take care of yourself in a good way. And that's just me being honest. And that's a tip that I think a lot of DJs could benefit from. There's so many people in our industry that don't take care of themselves. They don't look their age. They look way older than they are. They, over time, seem to fall apart. They don't prioritize fitness. They don't prioritize wellness. They get older and it looks like their body gets weathered. And these weekends add a lot of stress to your world, to your life, to your body, to your mind. It's important that you're taking care of yourself. So again, properly stay hydrated, eat the right food that's going to make you work the best, whatever that is. And if you haven't yet explored things like intermittent fasting or fasting in general, this might be a call to action for you. If you feel that your health and your life could use a little bit of improvement, this might be a thing that can help you manage not just what you're putting into your body, but how your body operates and feels. And I feel like that's like the big thing about fasting that I think is a huge benefit. When I fast, my mind gets super sharp. When I fast, I feel good. And when I fast, I feel like it's the best version of me. Sometimes the most complex events that I am part of, I make sure that I'm operating for those events fasting, because that's what my body works best with. So the whole point of this, take care of yourself, eat properly, hydrate properly, make sure you always have water with you and by you. And especially if you're like moving around a lot of gear, you start to get sore, you start to get tired. Your recovery as you get older is going to be a little bit more challenging. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your wellness as a whole, and you will be able to do this more often and for a longer period of time. The last tip for these busy weekends, make sure you put your out of office notification on your email. Try to block out doing non-essential, whether it be business work, whether it be, social media posting, things that could wait till Monday. And talking about Monday, here's, I guess, another little bonus here is make sure that if you have 3 or 4 events that are really, really demanding, give yourself a day to recover where you're not doing all of the things that you normally may do on a Monday. I did a video here on what I do on Mondays, but on a weekend that's stuffed with events where if I'm traveling, I'm moving things around, really high stress weekend, I try to block my Monday from doing anything so that my body, my mind, my overall well-being is prioritized, and I try to take care of myself. If I have to go run around to the store, go to dry cleaner, go do a lot, I do all that on those days. But the day is meant for recovery so that my body can be ready, whether it be Monday night or Tuesday, to hit the ground running. Running full throttle for an extended period of time is a recipe for disaster. And I can tell you firsthand that I've lived that life, and it's a hard thing to do. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That's what this video is all about. And if you have some really, really, really difficult, challenging, and demanding weekends and bursts of events back to back, these tips will hopefully help you get through it, help you overcome it, and help get you set up for whatever comes right after it. So make sure that you prioritize rest, your health, your wellness, getting into a routine, again, taking care of yourself and the people that are around you. You don't want to be driving super tired late at night. Get a room. Spend the $130 to get an affordable room so that you can relax and you can be refreshed and energized the next day. That's what all of this is all about. Anyway, what do you do on these crazy action-packed back-to-back event weekends? I want to hear from you. Throw your tips in the comments underneath this video, and let's keep the conversation going there. There's a lot in store and on deck here on this channel, and I appreciate you riding with me to the end of this video. Be on the lookout for more videos coming right here very soon, and thanks so much for supporting me and all things here on the channel. We'll see you real soon.